So today's opener, as I was saying, it's going to be a nice review for our upcoming test. It is missing 2 topics that we discussed in Triad 5, but we'll get to that with our opener on Monday. The first 3 questions here, it's all converting. So it says answer each of the following. Number 1 says convert 75% to a fraction. So what note sheet should I be looking at? Convert 75% to a fraction. Which note sheet should I be looking at? Which note sheet should I be looking at? Yeah, the converting. What John has open. Converting fractions, decimals, and percents. The part on your note sheet you should be referring to is percent to fraction. So how do I change a percent to a fraction? So I'm not going to divide by 100, but 100 is going to become my denominator. Good. It's become my bottom number. Then my numerator is going to be what? 75. It's going to be the percent without the percent sign. Now, fractions were not done until they're in simplest form. So 75 over 100 can be reduced or it can be simplified. What's 75 and 100 both divisible by? 5. What if you didn't know that? What could you use instead? No. What could you use if you did not know if this could be simplified? How could you simplify it out? Using your... You guys, come on. If you don't know 75 over 100 can be reduced, what else could you use? John C's holding it in his hand. Calculator. All right, 75 and 100. 75 divided by 5 is? 15. And 100 divided by 5 is? 20. Can 15 over 20 be reduced? Yes. What are they both divisible by? 5. Okay, 15 divided by 5 is? 3. And then 20 divided by 5 is? 4. Is this in simplest form? Yes. So I'm going to box it. Now, let's say that you chose to use your calculator to simplify it. What I'm going to want to see on your opener, on your homework, and on your test is the fraction that you start off with, so 75 out of 100, and your answer. So you don't necessarily have to show this work in the middle here, but you do have to show your starting fraction and your end fraction. Okay, next one, number 2. Convert 0.416 to a fraction. So what kind of number is this here? What kind of number is this here? A decimal. So I'm going to change a decimal to a fraction. So according to my notes, how do I change a decimal to a fraction? Okay, so I'm going to find the place value of the last digit. My last digit is a 6. So what place value is that 6 in? Thousands. So that becomes my... There you go. Thank you, Tamara. And then what's your numerator going to be? 416. What if you're terrible about place values? What's a way that we could figure out the place value if you didn't know tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s?
You write 1, 0, 0.
So you're going to put the 1 right in front of the decimal or in the ones place, and then you're going to fill in with zeros behind it. So that shows us that the 6 is in the thousandths place value. Now, this fraction, 416 over 1,000, we need to reduce it. What are you able to reduce both numbers by? 2. So what's 416 divided by 2? John, if I see it out again, it's mine.
208.
Okay. And what's 1,000 divided by 2? 500. Am I done? Nope. Now what are they both divisible by? 2 again. What's 28 divided by 2 equal?
104.
And then what's 500 divided by 2 equal? Okay. Am I done yet?
No.
Goodness gracious. What are they both divisible by again?
2.
2 again. What's 104 divided by 2? 52. What's 250 divided by 2? Am I done?
No.
Can you divide these both by 2?
No.
Can you divide them both by 5?
Yes.
So, as Jalen said, we're done. Box that. Call it a day. Not all the way up.
Here you go.
Yeah, nice try. Okay. Okay. Number 3, what kind of number do I have right here? A fraction. And I'm going to convert that to a decimal. Now, my notes, or excuse me, my directions say round it to the nearest thousandth. So I'm going to change this fraction to a decimal, and then I'm going to round it to the nearest thousandth. How do I change a fraction to a decimal? So I'm going to take my numerator and divide it by my denominator. What do I get?
I don't know why.
0.90909.
So it goes on and on and on and on, right? How many places past the decimal is this thousandths place value?
4? No, 3.
3. Okay? Based on the number behind the thousandths place value, the 0 here, is it 5 or greater?
No.
So what happens to that 9 in the thousandths place?
Stays the same.
Good. So my answer is going to be 0.909. Who can read this number to me correctly?
0 and 9. No, 0. No. 0.9. No.
0 and.
Well, you could say 0 and but because it's a 0, not a number, you could just say 909 thousandths. 909 thousandths. Now, if there's a 1 in front of the decimal, then you'd say 1 and 909 thousandths. Okay, flip them over. Let's talk about shopping. Shopping. All right. So, Sean was shopping, and there's this pair of shoes that he's been wanting, and they're $119, but Mom said no. But now they're on sale for 30% off. However, he's going to have to pay 9.1% sales tax. So if those shoes are on sale for 30% off and taxed at 9.1%, how much are those shoes going to cost Sean if his mom will let him get them finally? What notes am I going to have to use to determine how to solve this?
Percent increase or decrease.
Good. Percent increase, decrease. The percent increase, decrease notes has how many steps?
4.
4. Okay. How many percents do I have up here?
2.
2. So that means I'm going to have how many multipliers?
2.
So that means I'm going to have to repeat steps 1 through 3 how many times? 2. Okay. So step 1, we're going to start at
100% minus 30.
good. Now, the reason why we're minusing 30 is because on sale means it's going to have 30% off. So we're minus 30%, which equals,
70%.
okay, that's step 2. Step 3 says to change this percent to a decimal. I do that by,
Times it.
No.
Divide.
divide by 100. That's okay, which equals 0.7.
7.
Here's my first multiplier. I'm going to circle it because I'm going to need that number. Okay, so now it's time to do my second percent. Jalen, what do I start with? I so wish I had a camera right now so I could film all these faces he's given me.
It's 100%.
Okay, now what do I do, Jalen?
Since you said
No, I'm talking to him. What am I going to do with this 9.1%?
Oh, you're going to times that by 7. Divide by 7.
Do you need some help? Distribute by 7. Oh, good Lord. Somebody help this kid out. I added. Because you're getting taxed, you're going to add that. You know what to do. You said it the last time. When Tamara was going through, you were saying it all. Okay. Okay, the reason why we're going to add 9.1% is because the shoes are going to be taxed 9.1%. So what's 100% plus 9.1%?
109.1.
0.1 what? Okay, change this percent to a by.
Divided by 100.
You about said times again.
Almost.
You caught yourself. That's the thing. I didn't catch myself first hour. Okay? What is 109.1% divided by 100? What is it when it's a decimal without the percent sign here?
1.091.
Okay. I'm going to circle it. This is my second multiplier. Now, what do I do with these two multipliers for my final step?
You times it by the original cost,
Which is,
110.
so I'm going to take the original amount of my shoes, and I'm going to multiply it by both of my multipliers. Now, I can do this all in a single step. Because I am talking about money, I'm going to have to round it to the nearest what?
10.
Say it again. No, not tenths. Hundredths, which is also called the nearest cent. So when you multiply these three numbers together, what do you get? So when you multiply 119 times 0.7 times 1.091, what's the big answer that you get?
90.88.
Say it, I just can't.
90.880.
Okay, how many numbers past the decimals, my hundredths?
2.
Is the number behind the hundredths 5 or greater?
Yes. No.
Nah. So what happens to the hundredths place value?
Stays the same.
Stays the same. So the cost of the shoes is going to be what?
$90.88.
Good job for saying dollars. So I'm going to put my dollar sign and box it. How many of you guys would buy a pair of shoes for $90.88?
Me.
I paid more than that.
How many of you guys would buy shoes for $119?
Me.
I know. Like when I used to buy really good running shoes,
These was one.
I used to buy really good running shoes and they'd be pretty expensive. And when they'd be on sale for $90, which I think is still expensive for tennis shoes, I would buy them because it is a lot better of a deal. Now, do you think $119 down to $90 is a pretty decent deal?
Yeah.
How much cheaper are the shoes when they're on sale? About how many dollars cheaper?
50% off.
30 something.
About how many dollars cheaper are the shoes now? Not percent. How many dollars cheaper are the shoes?
Like 10, 20. That's payless.
Anybody know? So if they're originally $119 and now they're about $90, how much cheaper are they?
Oh, you talking about this? I thought you were talking about in general. Like, oh, I thought you were talking about like.
Like they're like $29 cheaper, right?
Yeah.
I guess the 119 is tax though,
The
right?
highest I ever paid for shoes was
I thought you were talking about
$180.
like when you go to
Ooh.
the store, like.
No,
These
thank
was
you.
more
Maybe you saw
$40.
about-
Okay, the next two. So the last two of our opener here. Andy, you getting it down? So number 5, determine the percent change 71 to 90. Which note sheet are you going to use for number 5?
It's your old number, your percent change.
Yeah, percent change. So we're going to have a formula for percent change. Raise your hand if you know what that formula for percent change is going to be. John C.
Percent new minus old divided by old times 100%.
Good. So new minus old divided by old times 100%. Remember, anytime we do a formula, we're going to say what kind of formula we're doing first. Percent change. What's my old number here?
71.
My new number.
90.
Okay, so if we have new minus old, what's that going to be?
Negative 19.
What's new minus old? 90 minus what? Okay, divided by old
71.
times what?
100.
What? Okay, what's my direction say I'm going to do? I'm going to round to the nearest what?
10.
Of a percent. So I'm going to multiply these out. So it says round to the nearest tenth of a percent. That means I'm dealing with a percent. I'm not dealing with money. When I multiply these out, what's the number that I get?
I can't put this in a calculator.
Okay, so watch me. So we're going to take 90 minus 71 equals. Divided by 71 equals times 100 equals. And we get what? What'd you guys get? 26 point,
76.
then what?
0, 5, 6.
Okay. What number is in my 10th place value? 7. The 10th place value. I'm going to look directly behind the 10th place value and determine if I round the 7 up or not. Am I going to round the 7 up based on the number behind it?
Yes.
Yes. So that 7 is going to go to a...
8.
So my answer is going to be 26.8. I'm missing 3 things.
The addition,
The addition to show that it's a percent increase.
percent, and box.
Percent sign to show I'm dealing with percent in my box. Good. Almost, but here comes our moment of truth. This is where I messed up first hour this morning. Okay. Number 6. If a stock cost $4.21 last year and now costs $10.65 this year, what is the percent change? So what am I using to solve this?
Use some dollars.
What am I using to solve this? What is the
Decimal.
percent change? So what notes am I going to use? Yeah, percent change. Didn't we just do percent change?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So we're using this exact same formula to solve this. So before we start, we need to identify our old number and our new number. So what's my old number or my original number?
$4.21.
And my new one?
$10.65.
Okay. Now, nobody likes when I write my N like that. They always think it looks like a W. Okay. So, I'm going to start with the name of my formula. What's the name of my formula? Percent change, right?
Mine is old.
Okay, so what's my new?
$10.65.
What's my old?
$4.21.
Divided by my old?
I just get confused.
What's my old?
$4.21.
Times
100%.
100%. Okay. Sean, try typing it in now. All right. Write it down, type it in. What do we get?
15.
Nope.
I know, but you do that.
You were close, John. You just said something wrong first. And that's what I did this morning. That should not be included on the top line. The reason why is because you do that at the end, but if you include it on the top, then you do it on the top before dividing. Okay, nope.
152.96.
Okay, so we have 152.9.
69.
Okay, now I am rounding to the nearest tenth of a percent. So what number is in my tenth spot?
No.
Okay, I look to the right, 5 or greater.
Yeah.
So what happens to this 9?
Let's try to a 10.
So this goes to a 10.
Right.
So then I carry the 1. That 2 goes to a. So my answer is going to be what?
A 153.
Let him have his glory.
I'll quit. I don't want to do no more. Okay, search.
153.0. Do I need to have that 0 there? I don't have to. What 3 things am I missing?
Percent and yeah.
And box.